Hello, good evening, and welcome to the final race of round 11 of season 11 in MRC. This is your Wednesday night fix of Tier 4 action live from the beautiful, glorious, wonderful Silverstone. And you know what? Just to make this evening somewhat more special, someone even more beautiful than the lovely former airbase that is Silverstone is joining me in the box of commentary. You may know him as the leader of the Prix, the hunter in the pack. I know him as the big, cuddly teddy bear. This is Mark Denison, also known as Simba. Hello, my friend, and welcome to the Comes Box.
Good evening, Mr. Blowhole. How are you?
I am all the better for roaring with you, my friend. You well?
Yeah, it has been a while since we've been together as well, so I'm quite looking forward to this.
The last time we were together was actually not in MRC, it was in the pub.
It certainly was.
This is even better.
Qualifying, I believe.
Yes, it was for... what Grand Prix was it? We'll come back to that anyway. Now, today is the British Grand Prix, which is officially sponsored by our Bessies for Yorkshire. But on top of that, because we are both of Yorkshire families, but on top of that, we have 3 Scots and 5 Scots. I'll come back to that as well later. So we now will technically call it the Scottish Grand Prix, even though it's based very much in the middle of England. So, hurrah! We also have many reserves, and we will come to all of those in due course. But of course, we will mention the course. This is one of the firm favourites of both drivers and fans alike. It's one of my favourites. I'm going to be straight and honest with you here. Mark, is it one of your favourites? That's the real question.
I do like the track, I just never seem to have much luck racing it. But it is a great fun track to drive. I've always got pretty decent one-lap pace here as well. It's just in the race it doesn't seem to go too well.
Yeah, it does lend itself for good battling and good racing, but of course, being so high speed, if it goes wrong, it's not a little wrong, it's a big one.
I mean, who couldn't love that sequence from Cops all the way through to Chapel? It's fast, it's furious, it really gets the adrenaline pumping.
Indeed, it flows so perfectly. But yeah, tell you what, do you want to give us an onboard lap of the magnificent Silverstone International Circuit? The first car will be Smoggy Ghost, who is third last on the list. He's just in club corner now.
Certainly is. Should have his ERS on, building up for hopefully a good entry onto the pit straight, also known as the Hamilton Straight for you die-hard fans.
Sir.
So, into turn 1. You can take that flat out, but obviously on a banker lap I can understand not doing so. Yep, braking about the start of the curb, hook it nice and tight for turn 3. You want to go wide for this one and then go tight, just like he's done there. Stay wide as long as possible to give yourself the best run onto the Wellington Straight. For down here it's full beans, full power, flappy wide open, brake about the 50 metre board into Brooklands. Quite a nice line there as well, into Luffield, which can really throw you after Brooklands, because it's a bit of a tricky one. Several lines can be used though. Wants to be nice and tight to the old pit wall here, then over to the left, ready for the run to Cops. About 50 metres, throw it in, you can take that flat out, just need to get them stones into place, and into the beautiful Maggots, and then Beckett straight after it. What an amazing sequence of corners, I mean this is. Exit of Chapel onto the Hangar Straight, again full beans, DRS flat wide open, slowly make your way to the left for Stowe, which as some of you might remember, Michael Schumacher broke his leg in 1999 there. Don't run too wide on the exit or you invalidate like he just did, unfortunately. Brake about the start of the curb for Club, in nice and tight for that one, and back to the pit straight, which would have been 129 if he hadn't invalidated.
Not a bad banker, but as you say, it was an invalidated lap, although Teabag and Lost Infinity straight away laps in a 26.6 for Teabag. That's quite impressive.
Rapid.
That's impressive. Sorry,
that's not much slower than my final qualifying run in Tier 2 the other day.
I'll put my meatballs back into it. That's impressive.
That really is impressive.
That is impressive. In fact, I was a low 26 in Tier 1. No, I lie. I wasn't. That's a lie. It was wet in tier 1. I'm telling a fib. I'm telling rubbish. Anyway, Roundy P2. He's shown a bit more pace in the second half of the season, especially since that long big ass race we had in Qatar, which was of course very good fun. And he was in a Red Bull. But anyway, I thought I was going to enjoy this evening. Anyway, I came second to a Red Bull in a realistic Alpha Tauri, having started at the back, and he was on pole. Anyway, he did drive a very good race.
Drive faster. You're supposed to be one of the fastest.
That's a big supposed to be. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of fast drivers, he's in the pit box. We can see the front of his car from here. Is Mr. Reese Whitcomb. He's a last minute stand-in because somebody is a silly Billy and did not turn up, and they're very new. So I've got a feeling that the person who didn't turn up will not be here. That person's called Scott. Not to be confused with another Scott. I would like to officially, on behalf of everyone at MRC, welcome back Scott Martin back to the MRC paddock, back in the field once again. It is wonderful to have you back. Get on track so we can see you in your ugly red Ferrari. But honestly, I'm thrilled that Scott's back. He's one of the cleanest and most fair and fun drivers, and he's a great guy as well. So lovely to see him back with us.
Oh, I still remember the title battle me and him had in X in Season 8. He really pushed me on the races he was in.
Yeah.
I think I got it so easily because of the fact he missed some races. Because he is not a slow driver by any means.
No. When I first joined the league in Season 5, and I know you'd have probably found the same in Season 4, I believe, when you first joined, Scott was Tier 2. And he was a
Tier 2 Mercedes.
He was, and he was a top Tier 2 driver at that. He wasn't just there to make up the numbers. He was at the front end. He's unfortunately got a lot in his personal life, as is the way with some people, mainly amongst family. But yeah, he's back with us, which is great to see. So yeah, hopefully he will stick around for the foreseeable. Hopefully he'll get himself up to speed nice and quickly. And just most importantly, Scott, get on track. You're in the garage, you can't set a lap from there.
Yeah, come on, Scott. We want to see you. It's been too long now.
Every driver I jump on board with jumps in the pits. This is disgusting behaviour from the Tier 4 drivers. Please put some laps on the board when I'm on board with you. Mr. Man. There's a man who knows what he's doing.
Ah, Charlie.
Indeed. P12 currently, with a banker lap of 128.8. He's in the Monster Can car, as I like to call it. Actually, no, because it's the British Grand Prix, the two best British drinks I can think of, and I've really gone in depth for this here, that there's two. There's Iron Brew and Yorkshire Tea.
Do it for Yorkshire!
For Yorkshire! Now then, personally, I'm going to say Yorkshire Tea edges Iron Brew. Sorry, jocks, but only just, because I do love Iron Brew Tea.
That's because Iron Brew's Scottish.
If it was English, it would be on par with Yorkshire Tea.
I mean, come on, it's their national drink.
Man's pitted as well! Right, honestly, what's going on here?
I think Chelsea may have just started one.
Right,
I think it's just been blocked, so that might be over and done with.
Oh, yep, you know what, I just jumped on board at the wrong time. I've squeaked and everything. Smith's not on a lap. Teabag's on an out lap. We'll come back to the
Airways is on an out lap about to hit Club Corner.
Let's jump on board. Scott's left the garage! Scott's back! Officially on. He's on his way down the pit lane. We'll come back to him later. We'll see Airways first. Now, Airways, the last time I got to commentate on Airways was when he took part in Tier 2 in Canada.
Which he's done a few times, actually.
Yep, he has done a fair few times. Now, the last... Oh, T-Bag's left the session. Connectivity might be a problem. Hopefully he can rejoin. Now then, Airways, also known, he has a real name, which is Zach. He does have a name, which is great. Now, he's just set a purple first sector. Good start. He has got some ridiculous pace. He got P6 in Canada just a few rounds ago, and I remember he got my personal driver of the day for that, and I wasn't tolerating any idea from anyone else that anyone else could possibly get driver of the day vote that day. And since then, I've had a little soft spot for him. Not just because he's in a Mercedes, and I like the Mercedes, but because I just thought, he's just a bit good. And 16th place is no place for a man of your stature, Airways. Get on with it. Prove me right. That's another purple sector.
He is doing his absolutely full beans down the hanger straight. Come on.
He's gone full Heinz down that straight. We're going to get all the brands that we know in Britain into this stream somehow. And Bessie's, Yorkshire Tea, Iron Brew, Heinz. We're going to get Muller Rice Corners into this next. Oh, well, it's already in. There you go. Here we go. Round Club Corner. Airways goes. P3. 27.2. 17. Well, 27.2. Tell you what. Good luck. It said it was purple everywhere, but that's not true. But let's look at Scott. Here he is, Club Corner, the magnificent return of the legend himself. Now then, he did say to me the other day, and I probably shouldn't put him on the stream because of this. He said to me actually this morning, I do apologise, I'm just looking at my DMs to confirm. It was 11 o'clock this morning. I was at work, not looking at my phone in case my boss is watching, which I know she isn't, but just in case. I was not looking at my phone while at work, and I got a message from the lovely Scott saying, "Hello, if you need a spare in Tier 4, I'm free tonight. I just need to get a setup." So at 11 o'clock this morning, 9 hours ago, he had not got a setup and wasn't ready.
Oh, it's invalidated.
But yeah, he just needs a few laps to get himself up to speed. By the end of the season, I imagine Scott will be back to his usual pace. But it's just lovely to see him back on track. Now, speaking of Scots, let's talk about another one. The alternative kind of Scot. A Scottish Scot. But this one's not called Scott, he is a Scot rather than called Scott. Scottish Ninja. Who is actually called Grant, not Scott. So maybe we should call him Grantish Ninja. His Scottish Ninja's name is absolute fraud. It's an abomination to fact. Grantish Ninja, who's our first champion of this season, has just gotten P6. He's reserving in the AlphaTauri. He's just won MRCX Challenger Tier. Congratulations to Mr. Grantish Ninja. And of course, it's lovely to see him in such happiness and such confidence at the moment. So good for him. Lovely to see. Grantish Ninja. I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna stick now. I'm never letting that one go.
Grantish Ninja.
I'm never letting that go. I also, on a slightly more positive, whilst we're talking about orange things, because we just talked about a Scottish person, we're going to look at the McLaren of DRS Julian. I just want to say a personal thank you to DRS Julian, and this is genuine. This is not a piss take or joke here. Sorry, apologies, that was a bit of a wrong word. This is not a joke or anything, but DRS Julian was a last minute stand-in tonight because, again, of another driver not being able to make it. So, Julian, thank you very much for being a hero. We love you. Even if you're using the Verstappen Miami helmet, absolute crazy fella. Anyway, Lost Infinity. He's not lost any of his happy spirit, as he lately, obviously in the league, we've seen a few mixed emotions in various senses in the league, and obviously, you know, it's been quite public. But Lost Infinity has been one of the people in all this time to pop up with positive messages and support for people in this period of time. So, praise to you, my friend. You are an American, but I still like you. That's as friendly as I can be. Jokes aside, I do like the Americans, really. Yeah. Actually, whilst we're talking about Americans, this one just goes into the pit lane. Speedy Bullet, the other American, is also in the pit lane. Oh, dearie me. Anyway, Speedy Bullet was another positive fella the other day. So, again, thank you very much to the pair of you. We love the energy. Oh, we have a request that T-Bag needs another invite to the session. Simba, can you take care of the matter?
Yes, not a problem.
Fantastic. We're going to look at Roundy as he... Roundy joins the pit as well. Oh.
Oh, where is he? Come on, Terence, stop hiding on my list.
Terence! That's a beautiful British name.
Terence Bagwell.
Oh, of course. I forgot about Prison Break. Now,
exactly.
Teabag, before we get to our final runs of qualifying, I'm going to tell you a fun fact that I shared in the Discord about Teabag just last night. So I was in title fight last season in MRCX with a certain German called Xavier, who is a very fast fella. and a lovely guy too, and I love him. Alex, I love you, in case you're watching. But, and also G-Star Ben was also in the fight too. Credit to Ben as well, another great driver, another great guy. Teabag joined the Discord like 3 days before, and he has my initials in his name. And I genuinely somehow got triggered that someone was going to try and take me out, called Teabag. I don't know why, but I looked at his name in pure panic. I lost control of my emotions and thought, no, I don't want him to race. Don't let him race. This cannot happen. Because I thought he was going to take me out. Instead, he turned out to be probably one of the cleanest drivers on the track that day, but I still gave him 4 cars whips when I overtook him into turn 4 around the outside. I left him 4 cars whips just in case. But it turns out he's actually, Colin is a lovely guy, and he's obviously one of the newer members of our stewarding team. He's a lovely guy, and I was wrong to fear him.
Have you heard what his previous PSN used to be?
I've not. What? Please enlighten me. What was it?
It was please teabag me.
I tell you what, at least he was polite. Unlike Chelsea, who's just exceeded track numbers at Cops. Chelsea, you can't do that, mate. You need to get a lap on the board. You're P8. There's 2 cars ahead on mediums, 3 cars ahead on mediums. You need to get up the order, my friend. But actually, Chelsea, he's another lovely guy as well. Actually, he's from South Africa, which I know at the moment South Africa's got such load shedding issues. It's really sad to see that a country is so limited on powers and resources. It's really shocking, and it's obviously for people like him. I know there's a few others who are really struggling with connectivity because of it. Now there's Speedy Bullets. He's on track. The Yank in the Yank car. The Hasshole in the Hasshole. Is he going to go full Gunther in the final sector, or is he going to be full K-Mag? Is he going to smash it, or is he going to pop it really high up there? That's what she said. Anyway, I just realised what I said. So, oh dear. When MRC's banned tonight, I will take some of the blame. Simba, you've got to take about 50% at least. Round the final corner, here we go through Club. Speedy Bullet, is it a fast lap? It is! He goes P2! Wow, cracking lap from our resident American. Y'all better enjoy this, is what I'm imagining him saying right now. Airways is up on his lap as well! He's in Stowe corner as well now. Ooh, Teabag says the session no longer exists. Teabag, restart your console, be quick.
Apparently he's done that, I'm messaging him at the moment. That's not a great start.
Oh wow. Airways P4 after the 27-1 there. By the way, credit to Jazz Bodge, who has on a medium done 27-2. That's a fantastic lap on a medium. Full send Dave now. Full send Dave. He and Teabag are not just teammates, but they are friends. I don't know what a friend is because I don't have any. Don't you dare pit!
Excuse
Dave,
me?
Why have you pitted, Dave? I was talking about you. You do not get to pit when I'm talking about you. That's not allowed.
Excuse me, Mr. Blowhole?
I don't have friends, I have family.
Okay, I'll let you off.
Thank you. I will take your letting off. Right, coming back to full send Dave. Dom Toretto's man, eh? I'm the Yorkshire Toretto. Only I don't do wheelies down the hangar straight, and I don't drive a Dodge Charger.
No, you drive a Ford Fiesta.
I do. It's the fastest car in the world. It's not. It's really not. Now then, Roundy, Mr. Triangle in the Alpine Baguette.
Jazz Bodge is at Club Corner and he looks like he's on a good lap.
Oh, let's jump on board with Jazz Bodge. Yes. P3 on the mediums. Wow. Wow. Now, Roundy's also on an improved lap. What can Roundy do? Could this be pole? Could it be a front row? It's not. No. He stays fourth. He lost all the time in the final corner.
Yeah, lost all his time in Village. Oh, gutted.
Oh, that is a shame. But despite it being his banker lap, the man who likes to dip his bags in tea has got it on pole with a 26.6. That is filthy. Filthy, filthy, filthy. In P2 is the American, the Speedy Bullets. P3 is Jazz Bodge. In P4 is Triangle. T-Bag has joined! Wonderful, he's back. That means his pole position is not lost. Wonderful. We'll go through the order shortly. Of course, we'll continue to bring the energy. As we look at the AlphaTauri of Smoggy Ghost, that kills the vibe straight away because it's the ugliest car on the grid. Now then, T-Bag takes pole at his home race. An American duo, Speedy Bullets and Jazz Bodge, take P2 and P3. Roundy, who claims to be Australian or New Zealand, is actually a British lad, P4. Airways, P5. The Scottish duo of Danny and Ninja are P6 and 7 with Full Send Dave, P8. Hopefully that's not full send into the wall later. The South African pair of Chelsea and Smith round up the top 10 in 9th and 10th. Julian P11. Another American that lost affinity is P12. Biff, P13. The man called Man is P14. Smoggy Ghost, P15. Winky, winking his way to 16th place. Sneaky Turtle, 17th. Scott on his return is 18th. 19th for Richie. And last but definitely not least, he didn't qualify due to our rules regarding high tier drivers. Reese Whitcomb will round out the grid. How are we feeling regarding that qualifying then, Simba? Are we going to have a exciting race, do you think? And who is going to be the star of the show?
Depends on the conditions that we're going to have. As we all know, Silverstone has a big habit of throwing wet races out there.
Although, I know what wet things look like, and that Sky, that doesn't look like one of them.
No, it doesn't. Why could this not be Tier 2?
I tell you what, at Tier 1 we had wet quali, dry race. Tier 2, we had a dry quali, wet start to the race, dry end to the race. MRCX, we had dry quali, dry sprint race, wet race.
And Tier 3 was all dry, wasn't it?
Yeah, Tier 3 just seemed was all dry, yep, exactly. Tell you what, that ending in Tier 3, for those who haven't seen it, spoiler alert here, but we saw 4 wide into turn 3, 3 wide into turn 1 with a couple of laps to go. It was a phenomenal spectacle. But let's get focused.
Just needs to take control of his car by the looks of it.
Yes, hopefully he's not having any trouble taking control. His missus will be concerned if he does. But let's try and get this PG for a second. That'll be hard for me. But the only driver on the grid to take the soft tyre is Reese Whitcomb. Now, just for the record, Reese, being a Tier 1 driver, has to use all 3 dry compounds for the dry race. So here we're getting the softs out of the way nice and early. And frankly, that's the best thing to do because they do not work on this track. They do not last. This is, correct me if I'm wrong, I'd say the hardest tyre wear track in terms of it's the hardest compounds available get used here. So yeah, most people going for the hard tyre, although shortly followed by the mediums. Frankly, a medium hard is the sensible strategy here. Would you agree with that, Simba?
It seems to be the way to go.
Yeah.
But obviously with having a wet race, it's hard for me to say. One of my students were asking me this earlier and I'm like, well, I had a wet race, I don't really know.
So teacher Simba wasn't even sure when the wet race came in. Oh dear. But, that to be fair, the wet race does cause all sorts of things to go through anyone's head. So, T-Bag's still having issues connecting, this is not good.
I wouldn't let him take control.
Oh dear God. Oh dear God. Well, in which case, he's no longer my prediction for the race win. He was going to be, because that rapid lap was incredible. My new prediction for the race win is Airways. Who is your prediction, Mr. Simba?
See, I think Speedy Bullet's looking good, but I also can't look past Roundy.
Fair play. So we're going for P4 and P5 as our potential winners. We did allude to it earlier, but this is a track you can overtake. But let's quit the chit chat as the drivers line up on the grid. It's a very short start-finish straight, this, and a very, very long and slow pit lane. So ultimately, we could see strategy not be quite so important regarding the extra pit stops later. Look at this, we've actually got a shot of the front of the grid and the lights for once. This is a rarity. This F1 game likes to give us random shots of the mountains in the distance or the back of the grid where you can't see the lights, but we get to see the action for once. Wonderful. Reese Whitcomb finally takes place at the back of the grid. And we finally have our light sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at Silverstone, we are away. And okay, we've got one car that's just disappeared. The Ghoster car is quite a way ahead. So let's jump back to the rest of the field. Speedy Bullets around the outside goes Jazzboz, and we've got cars off at the back. Oh no, we saw some wings in places they shouldn't be. And we've got Winky at the back. He's dropped it. That's a huge shame. But Jazzboz is up to P2. Roundy P3. P4 Speedy Bullet. 5th for Danny. 6th Airways. Airways, don't let me down. Lost Infinity P7. Scottish Ninja 8th. Full 7th. Dave 10th, 9th. And DRS Julian 10th. That looked a bit messy to start towards the back, if I'm honest.
It didn't look great from the middle either. Oh, contact between Mann and Smith.
Oh dear.
Just the entry to Luffield corner.
Oh dear. Now then, Teabag still not able to get control of his car. He is going to slow drop down the order. And we've got a move, by the way. Scottish Ninjas just past Lost Infinity coming out of Cops. That's a wrong place to stick a wheel. Now then.
So, I'm going to jump around. Roundy's getting past Teabag. I thought we're seeing a good overtake then, not one on a ghosted car.
Yeah, we'll have to let him off for that
better,
one.
Mr. Pentagon.
Yes, be less triangle. Actually, no, be more triangle, because I'm a Mercedes driver, so be more triangle. Please. Jazzboz.
He'd probably love that.
Yes, Jazzboz with a 37.8. I need a new name for Jazz. Mr. Jazzy. Get in the YouTube chat and give us some suggestions as what Mr. Jazzy's name should be. And I will, at the race, pick my favourite one. But there's one caveat, you have to keep it PG. You can't give him an offensive name.
No, we can't be doing that here.
Yes, exactly.
We've already had one naughtiness on stream tonight, let's not have any more.
Yes, that may have happened. Now then, YouTube chat, quickly while we've alluded to, we've missed it out, so let's say hello. Hello Roundy, hello Dave Wright, hello Colin Bray, hello to Mandy Grantham, hello to Simon Pratt, and good day B17. Right, let's find some fighting. DRS Julian going for Lost Infinity out of Cops. Now, last lap we saw Scottish Ninja make a move on Lost Infinity out of Cops. Now Julian's done the same. This to me tells me Lost Infinity does not like the old Turn 1. Maybe he's got too little ring. He's got a low drag perhaps. Reese Whitcomb up to P10. He's a tier 1 guy, he's rapid as hell when he's on the soft tyres. I'm not surprised. Now then, we've got a pitting car. Lost Infinity's pitted. Maybe all of that was just because he had damage rather than anything else. That would explain it. Martin Hills says hello, sorry, forgot to type so far. Well, that's not good enough, Martin. That's just not good enough. Isn't that right, Mark? It's just not good enough.
Very, very disappointed.
Yes, go and put your head somewhere where you can consider yourself. No, Scott's round! We just saw the corner of my eye, Scott going for a move, and he's just gone round at turn 3, which I believe is Farm. He's now behind Richie, another of our resident Scottish people. But Richie's also not called Scott, but he's a Scotsman. Richmond sausages, man.
I'm just looking at the driver's standing tip at the moment.
Yes, now I believe the driver's standings, I believe someone can win the title tonight.
Yeah, which would be quite weird considering he can't seem to take control of his car.
Yes, now Mr. Teabag, I believe he needs 23 points if I'm not mistaken. Is it 23?
He needs Biff to finish lower than 5th, and he takes it anyway.
Well, as it stands,
because he has a 59-point lead.
Stiffy Biffy is currently P10.
Now, if it stayed like this, obviously there'd be a couple of demotions in play. but he probably would take it at this. He's got a 59-point lead. After this race, there'll only be 52 available.
Actually, he has retaken control of his car. Teabag is going to hunt down Stiffy Biffy.
Come on, Mr. Bagwell. You've broken out of a prison, now it's time to break through this pack.
I tell you what, if someone can break out of a prison...
Disclaimer, no contact.
Yes, disclaimer, yes. Clean racing only. No teabagging another car. Oh, there's contact between him and the Red Bull! Man has just got manhandled. He's teabagged another man, cool man. I witnessed that, Mr. Teabag. That's an official warning for touching another man in public, in broad daylight. I saw you, Bagwell. We're in trouble tonight. Let's go see his best friend in the world.
I knew comms with you would be a scream.
A scream? Oh, I'll get one of those out later. But from who? Full Send Dave. You are currently a little bit behind Smith. We'd love to see you get back in the action, my friends. Support your friend and teammates. Same goes for you, Lost Infinity. You were someone I was bigging up in the qualifying. I'd like to see you fight your way back through. Maybe a safety car would help. Now then, RC Danny and Roundy. There's a fight that I'm looking very eagle-eyed at. Ooh, turn one, Roundy lifts. RC Danny, I think with a bit more downforce, doesn't lift and has to back out. Now, Roundy's witnessing what I had to put up with in Qatar, which is a fast driver in a Red Bull when you're not in a Red Bull.
This is equal performance, though.
Yes, but I'm trying to make Roundy feel like this is how I felt briefly.
Well, that Red Bull driver's now passed him.
It has. And that's what happened to me in Qatar with Roundy at the wheel. So Roundy, now you know how it feels, do something about it. Chase him. Come on, Zach. Actually, there's 2 Zachs. So we've got 3 Scots, 2 Zachs, and 5 Scots.
Yeah, because if you remember,
Zach is there, race 2.
Roundy was actually in the Mercedes at the start of the season, because we called it Team Zach Attack.
Of course! That's nearly as good as Art Attack, and we'll come back to Art Attack later.
Oh, Neil Buchanan.
What a show. I'm not being funny, but that is British growing up in a nutshell. He's growing up with Art Attack on the TV. That is... That Bill and Ben the Flower Pot men in Thomas the Tank Engine. Not to be confused.
How old are you?
Well,
the original of that was before my time.
Oh, we have a safety car!
Yep, Richie has unfortunately lost it at Maggers.
Now, if Jazzboz gets on with it, he can beat the safety car out, but he doesn't. And that means that Chelsea, the first pitting car, is going to have a huge... In fact, the only pitter so far is going to have the advantage of a lifetime. If now, Chelsea, put the hard tyre on and go to the end, my friends. You could just be in for a treat. Everyone behind it, everyone else in the grid, in fact, no, Winky is pitted. And this comes into play for Full Send Dave. Is he going to full send it into the pits for some new tyres? No. Is Lost Infinity? Yes, he does. Wonderful stuff. Now, this allows these two at the back to close up. It will give Reese a free hit to get some new tyres on, and get rid of those horrible soft tyres. And Chelsea right now, down in P16, but Chelsea's going to be on brand new tyres that can go to the end. No one else can. Now, back to Bill and Ben, the Flower Pot men. What's your favourite potted plant?
I'm not really one for plants, to be fair.
This came because in my head I had Chelsea, which linked me to the Chelsea Flower Pot show, which somehow linked me back to Bill and Ben, the Flower Pot men. This is why I'm asking, and I feel like I've just got to ask you, the rule of 3, the last plant-related thing. What's your favourite plant? If you say marijuana, then I'm going to fall out with you.
No, it's... I won't want that in my house anyway. But... I don't... You wouldn't really classify it as a plant, but one of my favourite things you would put in a pot is a bonsai tree.
I had a bonsai and I killed it. Unintentionally.
I think we've actually got one, but whether it's still alive or not's a different matter.
They are really high maintenance. My favourite plant is a cactus because I named it after my sister because she's a bit of a prick. And I openly told her that because she gifted it to me, and I openly told her that I'd name it after her. She went, "Oh, thank you." And then 3 seconds later, she looked at me and went, "Oi!" And she realised where I was going with it. Which, you know, I got in some trouble with by my mother. Now, Mandy says her favourite plants are orchids. Now, Mark, between you and I, you know what to get her next time you're in trouble. Get her some orchids. I got away with that suddenly. I don't think she'll have clocked on that's what we said. The bonsai's dead! No! Not the bonsai!
No, that was about 15 quid as well.
I'll tell you what, how much? How much?
I only bought it because I've always wanted a bonsai.
My friend gave me a bonsai as a birthday present last year, and it was dead by Christmas.
It's because obviously I grew up watching Karate Kid, and I love Cobra Kai. And the bonsai tree plays quite a big part in it.
See, your story's a bit better than mine. Mine was just that there was an episode of The In-Betweeners, which, again, coming back to British television and brilliance here, and there is more that I can go to later. And Will from In-Betweeners ate a bonsai tree for a bet in one of these episodes, and I decided that I wanted a bonsai because of that, which is not quite so legendary. Anywho, now then, safety car is surely going to come in this lap. Surprisingly, it's not a Reliant Robin or an old Jag XJS. It is a Mercedes, and it is front of back. But we've only had the four cars pit, which are Chelsea, Wenke, Reese Whitcomb, and Lost Infinity. And because he's in the last, I'm going to call him Last Infinity. Sorry. Richie unfortunately has retired, which is what brought out the safety car.
I do believe there may be a story behind that, but I'll look into that later.
Sure.
Just judging by something I've seen from a chat.
Sure. Well, we can look into this later. But the safety car is coming in this lap. We've had 4 drivers make a chance of a pit stop. And the 2 drivers who were at the back, Lost Infinity and Fulton Dave, are now back in the group. But Jazz Bodge, I'm going to call him Jellybean. Jellybean was going to lead the pack into the final sector. Safety car is in the pits.
And Mr. Terence Bagwell is right behind his rival as well. This could get interesting.
Teabag, teabag, teabag. Now then, Jellybean comes round club corner onto the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight, and we are underway again. I love the cameras that are in the curbs where you see all the cars go flying over the camera. I think that's brilliant. It gives great perspective of speed and power. Now then, Roundy.
One of my favourite shots on this track is, you know, the bridge just after Chapel on the Hanger Straight?
Yes.
Watching back to Maggots and Beckett's, watching the cars just change direction through there. It's just mesmerising.
It's almost, when you see them, it's almost like they're just getting pulled by a string. Pull them that way, then pull them this way, pull them again.
It's just an amazing view. I would love to actually be on that bridge watching the race.
Yes, I actually agree with you. I think that or sitting on the banking at Stowe, looking back at it from there, would be fantastic. Roundy goes very wide at Copse Corner. Very wide indeed. The last time someone went that wide there was Max Verstappen hitting the wall sideways backwards at speed. All by himself. That was his own fault. Not being controversial at all. Scottish Ninjas closing quickly on Roundy. Who's closing? On the other Scots. RSC Danny. Ninjas up the inside of Roundy.
Going for it. Oh no, he's backed out of it.
We've got Scottish Ninja just having to back out of it on Roundy, but Roundy's gone deep into club. Can Ninja get him on the exit? No, not this time. RSC Danny runs away.
Teabag.
Oh, talk us through it. What happened?
He went side by side into club and got the inside for Village and just shot ahead. What a move that was. This is a man who wants a title.
There's a title to claim here. We have already had, I said lost, we've already seen 2 titles claimed this season. As we mentioned earlier, Grantish Ninja. I'm never letting that one go. winning the the Challenger tier of MRCX, which of course his first title. Well, more than now as he's on the back of Rounding. He nearly puts a nose at the inside. Oh, we've got a car round Farming Village. Who is it? It's a Mercedes who's lost Infinity. He's round. And we've got a Chelsea's round as well. Anyway, the other one was the ever dominant, ever powerful, ever rapid Damiano Ugioni of Italia in Tier 1, who wrapped up his third Tier 1 title in a row. What's more alarming is the season before his first title, he actually came second in a three-man fight between him, Reese, and who's obviously racing tonight, and Kid Dynamite. So in his last 4 Tier 1 fights, he's had second, first.
Can he do something that nobody else has ever done and maybe make it 4 Tier 1 titles in a row?
Well, Sarge has done 3, now Ugioni's done 3. Savvy's done 3 X titles in a row, I think.
Oh, who's that in the wall? Airways!
Airways, no! Not Airways!
No front wing, lost it coming out of the final corner, and we have a safety car.
Zachary, you were my pick for the winner. You can't be doing that.
That safety car is going to be a blessing in disguise for him, though.
Yes, now, if you were on
the mediums, probably won't go to the end.
I'd gamble. If I was on the hards, I'd be on the mediums, right? Actually, if I was anyone right now, I'd be pissing for whatever tyre you're not on, out of the medium and the hards. This surely will see everyone up to P17. In fact, everyone will come in. Everyone up to P16 definitely, and maybe those 4 at the back will decide to pit anyway. But yeah, Saviour definitely won the last 2 MLCX titles. Yes, he's won the last 2 in a row. So Saviour's won 2 titles in a row. Bergen and Calvin both won 2 titles in a row. I can vouch for that because they both did Tier 3 and Tier 2 consecutively. You won 2 in one season. Saviour's also
one of only 3 drivers to do that.
Saviour's won 2 in one season. And I believe, unless I'm wrong, Kaiser Soze won 2 in one season. He's the
third one to do it.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm good.
Saviour did it first in Season 7, I did it in Season 8.
And then Season
did it in Season
10?
9.
Was it off at Season 10? Oh.
No, it was Season 9 because it was Tier 3. Oh, bit of a crash going into the pit lane there.
Oh, RC Danny and Roundy. Oh, I'm sure we'll hear about that in shooting later.
But yeah, it was Soze who took obviously X-Challenger and Tier 3.
He did.
Then he moved up to Tier 2 for Season 10.
He was
and had the title battle with
he?
Hodgie.
Yeah, he lost out by, I think it was what, 3 or 4 points in the end? Something very small anyway.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Yeah, I remember, and he won't mind me saying this, but Marky Poo was very stressy Poo.
I know this firsthand. I was partying with him.
By the way, Teabag, I would like to question your insanity. First you decide to break free from Fox River Prison in Chicago. Second, you decide to go on the run. Third, you cut your hand off and then have to get a prosthetic. Now, you decide not to pit under a safety car when it's the slowest pit lane in the world. In the world.
Although, facts-wise, he didn't cut his own hand off. That was John Abruzzi with an axe.
It was, but he actually then ripped off the replacement hand when he was cuffed to a radiator.
Well, it was his hand. He'd had it sewn back on by the vet.
That was it, yes. And he had to rip it off. Anyway, that's
not that it was working anyway, but
no.
Yeah, let's move on from Prison Break chat.
No, Teabag, he's the focus of the day somehow.
Well, he is likely to be champion after this.
Yes, it will take.
I mean,
even if Biff was to get the results to keep it going, he would need some really monumental results in both of the following races to come in Hungary and, of course, in Belgium. He said Bahrain. But more importantly, everybody, I've had no contributions of names for Jazz Bodge. If you don't do this, I'm going to have to keep calling him Jazz Bodge or Jellybean. I would like some contributions of names From all 17 of you people in the YouTube chat, I want all of you to give me a name. Every single one of you. 16, right. Someone's decided they'd rather not watch than give me a name. I understand. You're weak. The other 16 of you, I want names. Every single one of you.
You don't want much, do you?
I just want to give the geezer a name. I just want him to feel important enough to have his own unique nickname. It's what we do here. Now, Reese Whitcomb. What's he doing in PE2? I mean, you are a bit good, Reese. You know I love you, really. But, oh dear. I feel like Reese should do the nice thing and let everyone through.
For long, he might be in P1 giving Teabag a tour.
Giving Teabag a teabag, perhaps. Mandy says Jazzy Jeff. Oh, like the saxophone player. I like that. Jazzy Jeff's a good name. Let's keep some more suggestions. Let's make this a free-for-all of suggestions. Dear Julian, you cannot overtake under a safety car. Get back where you belong in P3. The next one that Mandy's recommended, I can't really say without getting in trouble, so I'm going to say it anyway. Bajazzle. I feel like there's definitely something about that I could get in trouble for. Anyway. Bajazzle. I quite like Bajazzle.
Moving on.
Yep, I've just said it.
Let's have a look at the penalty situation.
Let's do it, yes. Great idea, Mark. He's back on the ball. So, 5 seconds for Roundy for that collision in the pit entry that you mentioned there, Simba. Thanks for spotting that. And that was with RSC, Danny. Then we have 3 drivers with a 3-second time penalty for naughty crossing white lines. That would be DRS Julian in P3. That would also be Winky in P5, both McLaren's Tut, and Smith in P16.
Well, it's a good job it's not an Alpine, he'd still be serving it at the end of the season.
Tell you what, actually, let's just give all penalties to Esteban Ocon. I have decided that Esteban Ocon is disqualified from this race. I don't care that he's not in the race, he is disqualified.
Well, who's in the Ocon seat then? Is it Roundy or Chelsea?
Definitely Roundy. Well, it's got to be Roundy.
Is that because you don't want my prediction to win?
No, but now you mention it, yes. I hadn't thought of that, but yes. Just because you said that, I'm going to go with it. Now then, we have some green flags. There's been a collision between Infinity and Smoggy. No! 5-second penalty to Lost Infinity. And immediately, your crazy prediction. Well, not so crazy after all. Because Reese Whitcomb, he's already on the back of Teabaggy Bag. T-bag, T-good and T-ugly. And here goes Reese. He knows how to slip it up the inside of another man. And he takes the lead into Brooklands Bend, now into Luffield, and heading up to Woodcut on the old National Pit Straight, which of course is about as straight as a roundabout. I'm keeping it sort of PG. Let's go back to some real world F1 briefly. Have you seen the new McLaren livery for Singapore and Japan?
Oh, that is lovely.
It beats last year's futuristic special Singapore Japan livery. It's even better.
I hope it comes to the game.
I still want their special chrome one and to come to the game, but that hasn't either. But I have seen the Williams Golf livery because I voted on it many moons ago, and that is coming to the game. I've seen it. And the Williams Golf livery is beautiful. But here goes Jazz Boz! Jazzy Jeff, Jelly Bean, Bajazzle has taken P3 from DRS Julian. Mandy says it's okay to say Bajazzle rather than Vajazzle. That's a bigger issue with that word. I agree.
Bit of contact there between Roundy and Full Send Dave.
Did Dave full send it, or did he not full send it?
I think Roundy was behind and maybe got his braking a little bit wrong. Luckily, it was only a minor collision. Roundy half spun, lost position. But
Did you say he collided with a miner? Now, miners are not to be collided with. They are men who go down in the pits and who dig for coal. I've managed to save that. I'm just going to say now, Scottish Ninja, you went off track there to gain an advantage. Give the position back. Grantish Ninja. Oh, he's on the collision of cops! Oh, and we've got Haas rounds, Full Send Davis rounds, Speedy Bullets rounds.
Speedy Bullets just got 10 for pirouetting.
A 10 from Len! It's a 10 from Len! Oh dear.
Teabag is still going on the mould hards, although he's down to P3 now.
Indeed.
But as Biff's down in P9, it's not looking good for Biffy.
DRS Julian's into the pits. Stiffy Biffy will now be up to P8 after all of this. But look at him still. Oh, Biff just avoids collision with Winky.
Had a bit of a collision with the sausage there.
Now, the sausage curb and the Winky either side of Stiffy Biffy. I tell you what, there's some dark chat in the world where this makes sense.
Although I thought Sausages was out of the race.
Yeah, well, Sausage Fingers, Richie, who's named after Richmond sausages, Biff, Stiffy Biffy, a man, called Man, Teabag,
who's
Winky,
just lost a position to RFC Danny.
Yes, as and Biff. We've got a lot of sausage-related punnery in the chat. Don't forget Jelly Bean and PC. Although we can get something out of that if I wanted to.
Although Teabag has lost in positions, all three above him will take a tier demotion.
Oh, well
so
spotted.
Technically, he's still
winner.
the race winner, technically.
Let's just get back to the tyre deltas, so we know who's doing what with what rubbers. What rubber has Winky got on him?
I really don't want to know.
Well, it doesn't matter because here comes Scott! Through goes Scottleton! Sorry, I just saw an opportunity to...
Wrong corner, but yeah.
Wrong corner, wrong colour car, but it doesn't matter. Perez goes wide, Leclerc's off the track, through goes Hamilton! Will live rent-free in my head for the rest of my life.
Well, I suppose it's an improvement over the one that lives rent-free in mine. That you won't like.
If you say no, Toto, no, Mikey, no, that is so not right, then I will cry. Is it
that one?
I thought so.
It's not so much for the situation, it's Toto's reaction.
Yeah, it's slamming at the headset was the woman who hit the
Winky's been disqualified.
Winky's gone the wrong way. The Winky has gone the wrong way. There's too many things to be said about that, so we're going to move on quickly to some action we're seeing between Scott and Biff. So Scott, as I said in qualifying, he will be up to speed within the next 2 races. He's already up to speed. He's up to P8.
Yeah, he's looking pretty speedy now.
Yeah, Scott's back on
Speed!
it. Scott Speed! There's another throwback. He can be our 4th American. Of course, if you don't know who Scott Speed is, it's okay. Scott Speed's own mother doesn't know who Scott Speed is.
And he's up the inside of Biff at Stowe.
Good move by Scott. Yeah, Scott Speed was an American who drove for Toro Rosso in 2006, teammated by Vitantonio Liuzzi. Now then, I've had a comment from Richie. Thanks for mentioning me on YouTube, although we use a different word to mentioning. I think that's because we called him the sausages. Craig Richmond sausages. We love you really, my friends. You know it's only affectionate teasing. I have all the time in the world for you, mate. Now then, Biff and Scott is a good fight, but we're going to come back to it because Jazzy Hands Bean Jazzboj is on the back of Reese, and Reese is not pulling away. This is the fight for the net lead. Obviously, both are a tier above all in the case of Reese, 3 tiers above. They're on different tyre strategies. Jellybean will go to the end of the race. Reese, I mean, in theory, he could go to the end, but he will not be going to the end. He will have to pit.
I'll tell you who is looking speedy at the moment, though. Airways.
Airways, of course, Airways looks good. He's my man. But here comes Jellybean.
He's hounding the back of Scott at the moment.
No, you're not allowed to overtake Scott. Well, you are, but...
I think he's about to intersteer.
No! I'm torn because I like Airways and I like Scott. In many a way. But there's a Red Bull behind them. We've seen this before, a Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes fight in the final sector at Silverstone. We've seen this before, Perez, Hamilton, Leclerc. We have a pitter, Smith pitted. Sorry, go ahead.
No through goes Airways moment for you.
Through goes Airways! Only because Smith pitted, that's why he went through. Technically it was right. But what team is more important?
T-Bag's left himself a lot of work to do.
He has. T-Bag down in 15th after that pit stop. But name a team better than Ferrari, Mercedes and Red Bull put together.
I don't think there is one, but in your eyes it'd probably be Williams.
It is, and Biff is ahead of that 3-car fight. They are now a 4-car fight. Biff, Airways, Mann and Scott are a little
as it currently stands, Biff is doing enough to keep the title going to next time.
Biff is... Sticky Biffy's going to keep it going for another 2 rounds. I tell you what, again, there's a lot that can be said about that, but we'll keep it clean.
That's
good on him.
A bold prediction, considering he would need to win next time out.
By the way,
with T-Bag pretty much not scoring.
Jazzy Hands, Jazzy Jeff Jellybean has taken the lead from Reese Whitcomb. That is a legitimate
he had his Weetabix this morning then.
Oh, he definitely did. Now, funny enough, Weetabix, I got some fun facts about Weetabix. So obviously Northamptonshire is where Silverstone is based. Specifically it's in South Northamptonshire, between Brackley and, well, just south of Brackley and Toaster. So Silverstone, Northamptonshire, is also the home of Weetabix. Well, Silverstone's not, but Northamptonshire is also the home of Weetabix, which is made specifically in Burton Latimer and Corby. The latter of those 2 places is where I live. Now, Weetabix, as you just mentioned there, fueling the power of Jellybean to P1, is one of the best breakfast cereals in the world, and I will not be told otherwise. Especially if it's got the little chocolate bits in it, the little mini one. It's gorgeous stuff, that.
Don't really do breakfast cereal, so I won't comment.
Fair enough.
I don't really do breakfast.
I tell you who has had his breakfast though, Scott. Just having a look at the back of Airways. Airways gets twitchy and cops. Is Scott going to get his move on?
Although I think T-Bag has had his Yorkshire tea because he is absolutely going for it.
If he's had his Yorkshire tea, he'll be rare. And here we go.
He could still
Airways
score
making
points
a move on Biff. This could affect the title race now that Airways has gone through. But Biff's coming back at him.
Bear in mind the top 4 in this race are all going to take demotions.
They are. We could overrule that and say they don't, but they will have to have penalties.
That's harsh. Especially as one of them is a tier 1 driver.
Look, yes, I agree actually, it would be fair. Only fair to remove him. Oh, unfortunate bad news from Sneaky Cecil. Thanks for popping up in the YouTube chat to let us know. He's just had a power outage in his area of South Africa. Electricity blackout 6 minutes ago meant he cannot finish the race. That is a huge shame. We did mention about the rolling blackouts and the power outages you do get in South Africa. It's really a shame. And Dearest Julian is at a moment at turn 2, by the way. You can see it on the map. There's a yellow flag there. He's the only McLaren left, so yeah, not good from him. Something's happened there. But
he's not had a lot of luck tonight.
No, in Tier 3 he was doing well, and then there was a collision with Melbourne, which I believe the stewards are looking into.
That was part of the recovery drive after he lost it at turn 3.
But here comes Grantish Ninja! having a look at his good friend and his fellow jockman, RFC Danny. This is the Battle of Brew. So you've had the Battle of the Boyne, the Battle of the Hastings. This is the Battle of the Iron Brew. These two.
Here comes Teabag on Smoggy Ghost. Can he make it work into Stowe?
And the Teabag is in the mug. Up the inside, although he took a lot of grass to get that move done.
I thought he was driving an Aston Martin, not a lawnmower.
Yeah, well, it will be powered by Honda in a few years, so technically it will be a lawnmower.
A very fast lawnmower.
It'll be a VTEC lawnmower. Indeed. Now then, the next move for Teabag is his teammate. Full send Dave. Dave-O, you know what to do.
He probably won't full send it on his teammate. It might give him an easy time.
Based upon the banter they have in general chat, I could see these two having a little battle. But the nice thing to do would be not fight him. There you go, you've got two Aston Martins getting frisky together down the Wellington Straight. Speaking of Wellington, are you a fan of beef Wellington?
I believe so. It's been a long time since I've had it.
I like a beef Wellington. Now, speaking of beef, Scott... Oh no, Scott Biff! I was just going to say Scott's just dropped off from the back of Airways, but Biff's just gone to the back of Scott. No! Oh, what a shame from both of them. I don't think there's any damage to either car, apart from pride and maybe the calmness in either cockpit. Oh, what a shame.
Well, judging by Scott's old compilation videos, I'm guessing there won't be much calmness in that cockpit.
Actually, for anyone who's not seen it, please, please, please watch Scott's edited videos of his race highlights. It's 18 plus rated. Oh, Connor Hardy in the YouTube chat. Me waiting for Scott's YouTube highlights. Thank you, Connor. Actually, Connor, while you're here, I want a nickname for Jazz Boj. I want a nickname from you for him. You are a man who knows how to name people good things. I want your divine inspiration.
Julian's retired. That's pit lane.
Yes. Now then, Teabag's next target is Scotty. No. Beam me up, Scotty. And unfortunately, Chelsea is going to be dragging Scott along, which gives DRS to all of these guys. We're going to have a big train. And Fulton Dave just dropping back off these guys. Ahead of these two, obviously, Biff not running away following that collision. Huge shame.
Mr. Bagwell is certainly on a mission, though.
Yes. Mr. 50p reusable bag from Tesco. He's on a mission to come back. And in fairness to him, he's had a clean race. Obviously, a bit of a disaster initially with the connection. Great pole lap. Robbed of the opportunity to lead the race from the start as he should. But he's back in the race now. He's done a great job. And if he does win the title today, what a recovery drive to do it if he does. We've only got 4 more laps to go, by the way.
He's going on Scott.
And he's got him. Yep, brilliant. Scott's coming back. No, but Bagwell's blocked him off nicely into turn 1. Right, the Bagster is in the points. Is he in the bag though? Biff is P8 at the moment, with deductions ahead of him. It'll be touch and go as to whether it continues. Teabag needs to get past Chelsea just to keep it a little bit friendly. But if he gets past Biff as well, then it's all over. Let's stay. Tell you what, I know there's a lot of fighting going on, but let's stay with the fights between Biff, Chelsea, Teabag and Scott, because this is where the title can be decided.
He's just got a really good run out of Luffield there.
Yeah, that's surely a move into Cops. No, he's backed out of it. He doesn't have a lot of the RS, you can see it on his screen. And he's back. It's raining!
I'm seeing rain!
Rain! Oh, wow.
When they came out of Luffield.
I am getting Brazil 2008 vibes. A few laps to go and then it rains. Oh wow.
Yes, the infamous. Tell you what, Chelsea has some straight line speed.
Indeed. Oh, Chelsea, yeah, so he's hanging on brilliantly from the guys behind, but he has got DRS from Biff as well. That does help. Now, oh, Chelsea's round!
He's lost it!
Chelsea's round! Oh no, Chelsea.
Now T-Bag is right behind his rival.
Yes, that means T-Bag, as it stands, I think will take the title. As it stands.
This rain is getting heavy though. Can they last 2 more laps after this one in these conditions?
You know what? Oh, they're already sliding around. Do you play safe and pit just to keep yourself in the race, especially if you're on all tyres? Smoggy Ghost has pitted. Lost Infinity is... No, he's not pitted, sorry. Lost Smoggy Ghost, Smith, Speedy Bullet, and... Oh, have all pitted. Are we going to see Sneaky Circle in too?
Look at that track in Luffield.
This is wet. This is wet.
Treacherous.
Biff's had a big twitch.
Twitches all over the place and T-Bag's going for it.
T-Bag's got the move.
He has got the newer tyres by 6 laps.
6 laps, that'll make a huge difference for T-Bag. Oh, look at the drift! Tokyo drift through Cop's corner. I'll be honest with you, speeding the pit lane for Reese 5 seconds, he's pitting. He's going for the inters, surely. I've got to be honest, I would be. I know it's a slow long pit lane, but looking how little grip there is, surely the inters are the tyre to be on. DRS disabled, look at the track!
It's definitely got...
I know
it's an awful pit lane, but you've got to pit.
Biff has a look at the
Biff
inside!
had a right look at him into Stowe there.
Now then, Biff's
pitted, T-Bag hasn't.
Reese Whitcomb's also in the pits. Mann has pitted. Scott has pitted. T-Bag, you've got to survive 2 laps, and the title will surely be his.
I've seriously got to question his mental state doing not pitting though.
This is 3 times. He didn't pit last time when we said he should have pitted. He's broken out of Fox River Prison and all the extremities that followed it in the breakout. And now he stays out on dry tyres in the rain. Look at the slide. Oh, wow. No.
Mental patient.
No, I'm looking at the gap between
Biff is
Reese.
literally 11 seconds behind him.
I'm looking at the gap between Reese, by the way.
It's actually more.
Yes,
Time
there's a lot
is just
more.
updated. It's like 24, 25.
But in the last 10 seconds, Reese has found 3 seconds on airways and now just passed him. In 10 seconds. That is how much... Oh, Speedy Bullet's out! Speedy Bullet pitted for softs and is now out of the race.
No, Brandon.
Oh, shoot, darn it. That was me trying to make a bullet right joke, that was poor. Anyway, Reese... Oh, Scottish Ninja's had a moment! As he's now dropped behind, Honoree's back ahead of Roundy. And we're just staying with T-Bag at the moment, but we should probably look at the battle ahead with Roundy and Scottish Ninja. As it stands, Jellybean is hanging on. He's started his final lap. Oh, I see Danny.
I thought Roundy was going to go round then. He's really sliding.
This is...
no grip at all.
There was nothing dry about the track. Airways is pitted from P6. He's scared.
T-Bag's pitting.
What? No. He's... Oh,
you literally had 1 lap to go. You might as well have risked it at this point.
Yeah, unless he's fearing crashing. Reese Whitcomb has taken Roundy and is now taking Grantish Ninja.
But Biff's going to be back ahead of T-Bag.
But Reese got an illegal overtake. Oh, there was a collision! Grantish Ninja has just hit Reese and Reese is round. Reese was letting him through because he got an illegal overtake. And there's been a collision. Now then, here T-Bag is way behind Biff. Biff's at turn 3. T-Bag's not even left the... He's
just got off the pit limiter. He's going to come out in 13th.
Indeed, and everyone ahead of him is on inters, so he's not going to get the moves done. Biff's going to take the title to the next race.
Chelsea's just lost it though.
Indeed. Now then, let's go back to the front because the Jelly Bean has got 9 of its seconds. He's still on the hards, still going. Fair play to him. 15 lap old hards in this wet. That's a remarkable bit of driving from him. He's tiptoeing now. Look at him here. Do not blame him. The top 4 have all gambled staying on the dries, and it's worked in all of their cases. fair play to them all. Sneaky Turtle has been disqualified for not using the tyre compounds. But
how? It's wet.
He's not used the wet tyre. You have to use the wet tyre to justify that. Reese, by the way, snuck up into P3. He would have taken.
Finished.
Oh, Reese actually overtook RC Danny, but then because of his penalty, drops behind. Wow. Okay. Now then, let's see. Biff is next to come across the line. Well, not the next, but he's going to come across the line. Will this continue the title fight? Almost certainly. There's a car pulled over to let him through as well, which is very kind of them. Teabag not being let through by his teammate, interestingly. Comes across the line in P11.
P10 after demotions, I believe.
I think you're right. Yeah, because Scottish Ninja's the only one that would fall in his catchment. So Biff's P6, but Biff, because of three cars ahead of him, yeah, he does. Zach Round, congratulations. Obviously, it's a little bit complicated with the higher tier drivers trying to work out who wins. So, yeah, Chris has forgotten how to speak. Yes, sliding his DMs in sliding more than Chris does in my DMs. Yes, Connor, you're right. Yeah, wow, what an end to the race, and the rain just jazzed that up so much more. What an ending! Oh wow!
I believe that the title will go to the next round.
Yes, I think it does. I think the 1 or 2 points for Teabag does not qualify to even out what we've just seen from Biff. Great recovery from Biff. Going on teams that was probably the best thing he could have done. Although Teabag, fastest lap, will get an extra point for that if he does get the points. So fair play. Anyway, Jazz was is your provisional winner on track. RC Danny second, third Reese Wickham, fourth Robbie Roundy, fifth Man, sixth Biff, seventh Airways, eighth Scott on his return. Great drive from him. Ninth Scottish Ninja, 10th Full Send Dave. The remainder of the results are as below. Simba, who are you going to give your driver of the day to today?
I'm torn between two, to be fair, who
Yeah,
have
let's hear
both
it.
gained a lot of positions in this race.
Yeah.
Man and Scott.
I can go with that. Man and Scott, I will also agree on. So welcome back, Scott, and great drive. And of course, Charlie, great drive there as well. P5 from P14, and I'm pretty sure it'll be a podium after all the deductions. Fantastic. And what a race that was. That rounds out our action at Silverstone. And after 5 great races, I have to say the driving this week has been better than I think it has been all season in all tiers. If I'm really honest, it's been great driving all round. But thank you, Simba, for joining me in the box. It's been an absolute thrill to chat some rubbish with you as usual.
Always a pleasure to join you, my friend.
Indeed. And of course, on Friday we have the Hungarian Grand Prix MRC X style on, of course, our usual YouTube stream, 7:30 UK time. Tune in, get freaky with us in the chat, and enjoy the show. But for now, have a lovely evening. Thank you very much for all who tuned in, and good night.
Good night.